Instructions for DC motorization of the new Silhouette tube with Real Lift Systems crown and drive. Ordering shades. When ordering your Silhouette for motorization, be sure to specify the following information. Request the standard lift system on either a standard headrail or an oversized headrail. Also indicate whether the shade will be an inside or outside mount. If your motor side is right, ask that the cord location be on the right. Left, if your shade requires a left motor. Finally, specify color and style. Motor preparation. Begin by unscrewing the pin mount bracket on the head of the Somfy LT28 motor. Replace the pin mount bracket with a flush mount bracket. Slide the Real Lift Systems Silhouette crown onto the motor. Line up the notch in the crown with the limit key on the LT28 and push it all the way on. Take the Real Lift Systems Silhouette drive and push it onto the LT28 drive. Using a 3/32 inch drill bit, drill through the pre-drilled hole in the Real Lift Systems drive and into the LT28 drive. Secure both drives together with a 5/8 inch No. 4 countersink screw. Set your motor assembly aside while you work on preparing your shade. Shade preparation. Before disassembling your shade, note the new ratchet-style stop assemblies on the top of the headrail. Be very careful not to push down on these stops or they will lock into a different position and this will cause the shade to track. It is not impossible to reset the stops, just very time-consuming. Begin your shade preparation by carefully removing the end cap with the clutch assembly on it. Unscrew the clutch assembly from the screw housing. Use a small handsaw or Dremel tool to cut the plastic screw housing off the end cap. Leave enough of the housing on the end cap to locate and mark the exact center of the screw housing. With a 1/8 inch drill bit, drill a small indentation on this center mark. Do not drill all the way through the end cap unless the hole will not be seen. Shave or sand the remaining screw housing so it is flush on the inside of the end cap. Make a template using a flush mount bracket and drill a 1/8 inch hole precisely on the motor center line. Using a 1/8 inch drill bit, line up the indentation in the end cap to the 1/8 inch hole in the flush mount bracket. Make sure the limit switch side of the bracket is facing down. It is very important that the center line of the shade and the center line of the motor be maintained or the shade will not be level in the headrail, causing the shade to track. Mark the location of the two mounting holes in the flush mount bracket on the inside of the end cap. Set your template aside and drill 1/8 inch holes through the end cap on the marks you just made. Next, drill a 1/8 inch hole in the back of the end cap. This hole will hold the motor wire so it does not rub up against the shade. Turn the end cap over and countersink the mounting holes. Feed the motor wire through the hole you drilled in the back of the bracket and attach the motor assembly to the end cap using two No. 4 3/8 inch countersink screws. Pull the wire tight and secure it to the outside of the end cap with a small wire tie. On the idler end of the headrail, slide the shade off the limit screw. Unscrew and discard the limit nut. Slide the shade back onto the limit screw. You are now ready to start reassembling your shade. Pick up your motor assembly and position the Real Lift System drive so it fits in the Silhouette tube. Slide the motor assembly into the tube so the motor head is tight against the flange on the Real Lift System crown. Make sure the bottom rail is not inside the head rail. It may be necessary to unroll the shade one turn. Line the end cap up to the head rail and tap it into place. The shade is now ready to hang and set the limits.
Real Lift Systems, motorization solutions for window coverings.